Morning and welcome to the Pink Table. We're going to go look at our fantasy league of game week results of game week 18, and we'll look at our teams for game week 19.
Yeah, let's go take a look at that.
And here we have it, folks. So before we jump into the league and the teams, let's have a look at the top game week purchases and sales, Elaine.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Udinese, with their big win last week, has seen two of the big top week purchases of this week, Molina Deulofeu, which is actually quite interesting considering that they might actually not play today because of the Salernitana COVID situation. So that might land up, at least for this week, biting a lot of people in the ass. Zielinski coming good after returning from his upper respiratory infection and looking really good again. Çalhanoğlu providing assists and goals left, right, and center. And Pedro, who, as a Roma fan, hurts me to say, has been a positive surprise for Lazio.
Yeah, and sales, once again, Barella's there, just bad poor form, and also he's missing the game now due to accumulated yellow cards. Ruiz out for injury. João Pedro, just because João Pedro in the last few days has not been performing for the price that he has. I still have him. I'm going to give him another chance. And let's see how that forms out. Mario Rui, injury as well. And Immobile, who was injured and today has resulted positive to COVID. So he's going to probably miss the last game as well. So that's a good sale. The team of the week, Elaine, strong Udinese showing with, I think it was a 4-0 win against Cagliari. Deulofeu, I think, racking in the most points as any player with a good 17.
Yeah, Udinese looking good last week. Like we said, Molina, Makengo, and Deulofeu all getting over 10 points. So really solid. Smalling nullified Zapata completely. He's made the list along with Dumfries, who got a goal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Pobega scored, Elmas scored, Torreira scored, and the pair up front as well. Abraham getting 2, and Morata as well bagging a goal for Juventus.
So I know we didn't do one last week, but the league from 2 weeks ago has remained unchanged in the sense that we have Saab White and Lom Maxwell first and second. Ahmed Saeed from Fox FPL 21 actually was first last week. So they did a good climb, but now we have quite a big gap of about 30 points. But we know that that can be cut in the match day. Like my match day this last round was terrible. But well done to Saab White for holding that lead. And let's see how it goes into this round. I actually dropped a few. This was probably my worst week in the last 10. I was 9th. I've dropped down to 12th. So I'm waiting to break that 1,000 mark, which hopefully I'll do. Well, I should do it tomorrow. Forged in Fire, Daniel is catching me. I've noticed he's done really good moves up the ladder. So hopefully this round I can keep him at bay. But the top of the table is definitely shaping up. And it looks like these 5 to 10 players right here are the ones that are going to be taking it to the end. On your side, Elaine, are we off the third page?
Not yet, but I'm
Over
68
there.
points behind you and about 150 points off top spot. So I'm eyeing that front page.
Fantastic. Also, just for everyone, just to show you how things change, Jack Russell was first for the first 5 games, roughly. And now they're sitting in 37 spots. So don't give up, carry on fighting, and you might just get lucky. So going into the week, I have left my team pretty much unchanged. We have this formation here. Hernandez, I put him on because he should be back, and I'm going to give him one more go because he hasn't been getting the points for what his worth is, his value. So I'll see how that goes, and then I'll make some changes probably before the season kicks off again. But yeah, Musso against Genoa, Hernandez against Empoli, Di Lorenzo against Spezia, and Karsdorp against Samp. Midfield's the same: Milinkovic-Savic, João Pedro, Candreva, and Aramu. And up front, I have Dzeko, Vlahovic, and Arnautovic. I'm going to make Vlahovic captain just because I didn't do that last time and I lost a lot of points. I put it on Dzeko, where Dzeko did get an assist, but he didn't get a goal. Vlahovic, I feel that with the form he's in, I'd be silly not to play him. My bench is Bastoni, Cajon. I'm going to put Cajon in front because in case Teo doesn't play. But yeah, that's my formation going into this week.
I don't think that will work for you anyway.
Yeah, it'll go to Bastoni if Hernandez doesn't, but that's fine.
Yeah, otherwise looks good, except your midfielders are playing really tough games across the board, except for Milinkovic-Savic. So that might come back to cost you a little bit. But otherwise, your strikers look to have quite manageable games, except for Arnautovic.
Yeah. And the first 2 games are this evening at 8:45, Juve Cagliari and Genoa Atalanta. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But Elaine, let's have a look at your team.
Okay, so taking a look at my team for this week, I've gone ahead and changed the formation. Last week I had a 3-4-3 in place. This week I've gone ahead and added the extra defender. The transfer that I went ahead and did this week, I dropped Dries Mertens, who hasn't been impressing me. Also played very little this weekend, and I brought in Abraham, who seems to be clicking finally. Rui Patricio in goals. Di Lorenzo and Rahmani against Spezia, I think, should be quite a solid bet. Faraoni against Fiorentina. I've noticed Fiorentina seem to struggle against teams with high intensity like Torino and Atalanta. I'm hoping that with Verona it's going to be a similar story, so I'll stick with him as opposed to Singo against Inter. Smalling against Samp. If he plays like he played against Atalanta on the weekend, he's a sure bet. The midfield is good for goals, but I'm still umming and ahhing whether to drop Joao Pedro and bring in Zaniolo. The only problem with doing that means I'm going to have to do a bit of a reshuffle and get rid of either Smalling or Patricio. I think the most indicated for me to drop at that point would probably be Patricio for Milinkovic-Savic, get a cheaper goalkeeper, and bring Zaniolo into this position. But for 4.7 points, Fratesi seems to be the bargain of the tournament. He's racking me up points, and I'm going to keep him in the middle of the park. Çalhanoğlu, like I said earlier, with assists and stuff is gold, and I'm super happy with this attacking lineup and considering who they're playing. My only real concern, like I said, is Joao Pedro. He was booed off in the game last week. He burst into tears along with a whole bunch of his other teammates after the game. The DS of Cagliari called all the players out. There seems to be a really unhealthy, unstable environment in Cagliari right now, and I don't think Joao Pedro is going to accumulate what he should. If I don't pull the trigger, I might even consider putting in Candreva. I just hate putting in somebody playing against Roma.
Yeah, what about Dzeko's captain? You happy with that?
No, that's still up for debate. I think out of the 3, he's the least likely for me to make captain. It's now just which one of the other 2.
Yeah, the team looks good. I'd just say if the 3 team, like your 50% of your formations in 3 teams.
Yeah.
So if something happens with those 3 teams, you lose a lot of points.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing, but otherwise it's a good team.
Yeah, it's a pity Barak's still not 100% certain. Otherwise, I might have popped him in for one of the Napoli defenders, but then it would have just furthered the issue. I'd have had 2 Verona players on the field.
Awesome. Well, folks, those are our teams for this Fantasy League round of 19. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe here below.
Yeah, and this is going to mark the last game, if I'm not mistaken, of the first of the winter or the first half of the season. So we're going to find out who our Campione d'Inverno is by the end of this game.
Well, it's already in there. It's 100%.
I know, I'm talking about our league.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody cares about Inter. Okay, so remember to select your captains, choose your formations, make your transfers, all of that good jazz, and we'll see you next time on the Pink Table.